What's up, YouTube and Facebook, and welcome back to Not Quite Mint. I'm Tom.
And I'm Rich, and yeah, we are definitely not quite mint, and I'm feeling very not quite mint today as well. So,
not in very good condition today, mate.
No, I'm knackered. I haven't had I'm not back from work or anything like that, so I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, guys, welcome to obviously this show. This is our review show. We are obviously now calling it that we are having it as the pull list, the weekly pull list show. So do obviously watch us. The idea with this show is basically we're going to be talking about stuff that we've read, stuff that's notable but hasn't hit our top 5, and then obviously we'll guide you through obviously our top 5 books. If you're new to the channel, obviously do hit that subscribe button. Hulk smash the like button. Everybody watching this video, if you can just hit that like button, takes you a millisecond, really does help us. And also later on, Tom, we have got a special guest, haven't we, for the first time?
We do indeed. Yeah, we have our first special guest towards the end of the video. We're going to discuss our top pick, so he's going to come in and talk with us about that. So yeah, it should be quite interesting. If you're not following us on any social media outlets, please do. We are very active on the old Instagram and Twitter. So shall we get into this then, Rich?
Yeah, we should do. Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot to cover, actually, looking at the old notables list. So
the old notables.
Yeah, and I noticed one of the notables is he's bang centre of our front of our sort of thumbnail today, and we're not really going to talk about it much. So I don't know if you want to mention that one first.
Which one? This one.
No, I was thinking the one in the middle of the thumbnail was that one. Yeah.
But I've read it, and it's an okay read. I wouldn't say it was the best thing to come out, and I was totally wrong on the Tuesday when I was like, this could be my pick of the week. It doesn't even make it into my top 10, I'm afraid. It's not terrible. It's quite well written, but the art style that Emma Kerbert's got is a little bit uncomfortable. It's just, I don't know, I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would have liked anyway. Cool. So yeah, another notable we've got is DC's Dead Planet issue 3 came out. I've been absolutely loving this run. I've been really enjoying it. This issue felt very much like a filler, in all fairness.
Yeah, massive filler. I mean, obviously, I think this was the first one that I read this week, and I was quite excited to read it because they left it on a real cliffhanger. And yeah, I was like, how are they going to come across? And then there's obviously a part with Mr. Plastic, who I thought like a fairly epic threat to the way that obviously the previous issue ended, and in actual fact it was a bit of a non-event, and then it didn't really go anywhere else, did it? Really, it is very interesting because I think they're starting to introduce the fact that that they were going into the detail of the anti-life equation and how they're going to actually reverse the anti-life equation, and I think like there's the whole mention of New Genesis at the end and things like that. So it did interest me, but in its own right, I thought it was a bit flat.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that one, mate. It wasn't the best, but I am excited to see where it's going to go now that they've kind of convinced Jonathan Kent to like take up the mantle of Superman a bit more serious, if you like.
100%.
Yeah, our next notable is the Miles Morales Spider-Man. I think it's issue 18, I want to say, and it's the first full appearance of his clone. I liked this issue, but it just felt like a massive rehash, and I didn't want it to feel like a rehash. I wanted it to be a brand new kind of take on it, but it did feel like a humongous rehash, in all fairness.
Yeah, it was for me, it was almost like it wasn't that clear exactly what was happening, if that makes sense. Like, so it was very action packed, and I love the art style of these Miles Morales of books. But literally, I don't know, I just read it, and it was all action for me, and there was no. It was a bit clueless what was actually going on, and I was just a bit. I was kind of interested by the way it ended, but confused at the same time. So,
well, maybe you can clear this up to me, mate, because I've not read the current Miles Morales run. Who is that guy? Like,
I was exactly the same, and I was plumbing my. He's not somebody who was immediately obvious, and I was like, who the hell is that? And I felt like I should know, but I didn't. But I don't think it's first appearance, so it's probably just amongst the Miles Morales books that I've read. I don't think it was somebody that has featured recently. I don't think, but I'm not sure.
Right. Well, should we do our top 5?
Yeah, let's get into the top 5, definitely.
So at number 5, I'm going to put Empire issue 6 here, because although it's not been the greatest run, I think this issue was strong. I thought it was really good. I liked how they tied everything up. All I would say is it felt like a really good Fantastic Four issue more than anything. It wasn't really a great crossover. As a Fantastic Four issue, I thought it was really good. But if you haven't read any of Fantastic Four, this issue might be slightly confusing on what's going on with the 2 children that have been encapsulated. That's my only criticism of this one. And also, it just ends. Like, it doesn't end with any, like, major deaths or, like, any major lead-ups or anyone kind of changing their roles in the Marvel Universe. It literally just ends, well done, you saved the day sort of thing. So that it just made me angry that I'd read 6 issues just for that. And I was like, oh, you could have done so much more with this. But I did like how Hulkling, the part of Hulkling with it's in it, what he gets up to. And I did enjoy the She-Hulk battle. I thought that was pretty good, although it ended really strangely. But like I said, I feel like it was a standalone, very good Fantastic Four issue, in all fairness. What did you think, Rich?
Yeah, I again, we've covered every single issue of this Empire, haven't we? And we were kind of willing it to come to an end, and thank God that we weren't tortured by having this as a monthly issue. So it ended better than probably the middle 4 issues, effectively, because we liked the first issue. I think we're quite interested, and then nothing happened at all really until the final pages of all the rest of the issues. And then with this one, it tied up some of the loose ends, and as you say, you needed really to have read the run into this, which was obviously the Fantastic Four issue 0, I think it was. And that was we reviewed that, and we really enjoyed that. And that really hyped us up for this Empire event, but it just went completely stale. And I don't know whether that was because it suffered from that typical Marvel thing where they're just trying to cram in so many different storylines into this main issue, and then none of them actually really resonate. Because you've obviously read all of the spin-offs, haven't you? And
so much stronger, a hell of a lot stronger than this.
Yeah, last week,
so much better.
Yeah, the one with Magneto and stuff was superb. But yeah, like you said, I think it tied up the loose ends. I think we saw the kind of arrival of the Immortal what I want to call the Immortal She-Hulk. So that was quite cool, although it wasn't really announced as such. And then we kind of everything. To be honest, just ended really, really too conveniently and. Very quickly. It was just very neat, very, and I don't want to see, it's difficult not to ruin it for everybody, but it was just let's just shake hands after a game of cricket.
They kind of wrapped it up in wrapping paper and then put a little bow on it, and there you go, done, job done. Do you know what I mean? It was just kind of let's tightly knit it all up nice and packaged, and there you go, done.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've got another couple. The thing that worries me and the thing that amazes me is that we've got an Empire Fallout issue, which I think is Fantastic Four focused. We've also got Empire's End, which features Null on the cover. There was no mention of Null in this little thing, so all I can think is that's some kind of a leading into King in Black or whatever. And then I think we've got there's another spin-off issue as well with Empire. So we're not quite finished, but hopefully they'll be better. But yeah, it just ended like you say, and as I say, it just felt like everybody had been having a bit of a a football match, and they just beat each other up and then shook hands at the end and just carried on. It felt really weird, didn't it?
It did.
It was a bit too
moving on. We're number 4 in our keys. In our reviews is Batman, but we're going to save it to talk with our special guest a bit later on. So moving on to issue number 3 is one that I actually didn't enjoy that much. But Rich, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. This was probably this was up there for me. I enjoyed the first issue, and I like it because the Sandman universe is. I haven't read all of the Sandman universe books, but I like these kind of 12-part sort of spin-offs where they revisit the whole world of Dream and all that kind of stuff. And I just like it. It's an easy read. It's the artwork in it is really, really good. And there's a part in this where a lot of it's quite, light and flowery kind of art, really. And there's a storyline in it that is a bit light and flowery, which is why it probably wouldn't, build it up that much. And it just seems, where is this going to go? And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But the core sort of storyline around Ruin, who's this nightmare who's escaped the dreaming, is I just like his character development. He's the way he's being put across. He's quite thoughtful. You don't really know much about him, but you do get a little bit of an origin sort of explanation in this, which is, again, really, really well drawn, really well introduced. There's new characters obviously introduced to it as well. And I'm not sure, as I say, if these characters have appeared before, but they just feel instantly familiar. And I just like the story, and I'm looking forward to. There's not many comics that I'm reading at the moment where I'm really looking forward to seeing how it's going to end, and I just felt that. And there was a bit at the end where Dream came into it and journeys into like the realm of nightmares, and the artwork on there is just so different to the rest of the book, and I just really atmospheric, really dark, really creepy. And I just thought I just liked it. It just had that like edge that I kind of like look for in comic books.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you on that one. That switch from the kind of like cartoony style to that really gritty, almost like it's been painted, was a really nice twist. That's probably the nicest thing that I liked about the book. I felt the story building was a bit slow, and I don't like the Shakespeare thing going on. I think it's really confusing. But I agree with you with the Ruin thing, how he's building up this kind of character's story arc of his, that he's essentially a nightmare, so he's supposed to be bad, but he's actually really thoughtful, and he's really kind. He's actually quite kind, and I don't want to ruin it for anyone if you want to read it, but there's this thing that he's not what you expect as a nightmare to be. And obviously, like you said, you get introduced to these new characters. You get to see one of the characters in his dream form as well. Like, it shows you that character and what he looks like in the dream world. I thought that was really cool. But like I said, the story for me was just a little bit. I don't know how to explain myself, really.
It's slow. It was slow.
Yeah, that's probably the best way.
There was no real action in this at all. It was literally just a bit of a drifty kind of scene setting type of thing, really. And as I say, the thing with the Shakespeare thing, the only reason why I'm not critical about that is that the whole idea is that the main character, and I forget her name, I think it's like something like Ellie or something like that, but she's she's basically studying for a doctorate in basically like English literature, and her specialism is Shakespeare. So her dreams are dominated by this sort of Shakespearean landscape, and hence why when she goes into the dreaming, her kind of dream construct is based on William Shakespeare and Stratford-on-Avon. And the house, obviously,
is where we're from.
Which weirdly it was 20 minutes down the road from both me and Tom. But so that was.
I don't like it because I've been force-fed Shakespeare since I was a kid.
Since you were a kid, yeah.
So
I'm very
like Shakespeare.
So like I've got no excuses. But I was never a massive Shakespearean fan until I met Holly. So. Yeah,
I worked at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre Company for a very small period of time, and I nearly wanted to kill myself. I have to be honest. The fact that they force feed you Shakespeare is a little bit like,
Yeah, the Royal Shakespeare Company force feeding you Shakespeare.
Yeah, no thanks.
That's like working in a bike shop and making bikes all day. What's all that about?
Yeah, exactly. Who wants to do that? Right, moving on. So our second topic, well, our second number 2 in our top 5 is Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Now, this one was a complete curveball for me because I didn't think it was going to be any good, and it completely shocked me. It felt, for me, it felt very old school Walking Dead, kind of talking the TV series, not so much the comic book. But it was really quite. It was funny. It was impactful. There was quite a bit of an emotion in this one. I just thought it was really well written, and the artwork really lent itself to the whole creepy Marvel zombies kind of esque thing. But it was also quite fun and light. Hard to explain that particular style of art, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was excellent. And there's some of the things that happen in it are incredible. I know you haven't finished reading the whole thing, Rich, but the ending is quality.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I've started reading this, and as Tom says, I was like quite a fan of the original Zombies stuff, and this just felt really familiar and nice, and I was a bit reluctant when I saw, oh god, they're bringing out a zombies thing, considering we're going through a world pandemic and all that kind of thing. It was like, is it going to feel right or a bit awkward or whatever? But it was. I mean, bearing in mind we are reading Deceased as well. I was like, oh, is this a bit too much? But yeah, I kind of like it. The art style in it is really, really good. It's light enough to not be dark and kind of scary or whatever. So it's a like you say, it's a light-hearted way of having that like sort of survival horror kind of genre. So I really liked it. It felt really familiar. As I say, I've still got to finish this issue, so it's probably a good job we're not doing spoilers. It's a good job we're not doing spoilers. But yeah, I really liked it, and the way that it was really dramatic at the start, and then it put you into a different like point in time, and then it was proper classic survival horror, zombies and stuff, and it's focused around like your kind of like characters that you really like as well, which I really related to as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I definitely
you have to finish it, mate. There's some really heartfelt bits towards the end of this book, which is really like almost kind of like pulling at the heartstrings a little bit. I'm looking forward to reading issue 2 for sure.
Yeah, wicked. I like it.
Right. Shall we get the main man in?
Yeah, we can do. I just need to address the comments because we have got a lot of
loads, mate.
I'm not used to this. So we've had Ken Titus from Japan.
Yep.
Obviously we know spoilers too. We've got coming in, but I think people probably know. And then we got Sean Welsh there. Hey all, hi Sean. And then we got GP Venom, who I met for the first time, obviously on Sunday. So thanks for coming along. We're pretty much up to date as well. Yeah. So
we actually have got one other person that has attended the comments, but he happens to be backstage. So we'll pop him in, shall we? It's the main man himself. All right, Dino.
Hello, NQM Famalam. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Yourself?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm all good. Thanks.
Good. What have you been reading? What have you been up to? Enjoying yourself?
I've been reading a lot of comics today.
Good man.
A lot of comics today. I've been catching up with Detective because I was a few behind on that. Caught up with the Batman. And also, I thought you guys were going to mention it. The we only find them when they're dead.
Well, yeah, actually, it's our top pick, so that's where we've brought you in.
Yeah, nice.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and the Batman as well. So yeah, I've been catching up on a lot of stuff, and I got an honourable mention as well.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Lonely Receiver.
Lonely Receiver.
Yeah, if you want something a little bit weird, and you want something a little bit adult and a bit mature, there's a lot of swearing, a lot of nudity.
Are we talking my kind of thing here, Tom? Is this?
Yeah, it sounds like your kind of thing.
It's like weird, like grown-up stuff.
you're gonna like this then. It's a bit difficult to read. It's kind of clunky in parts. It's almost like, I would say, it's kind of written by somebody that English wasn't their first language.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you get that feel sometimes where it's a bit wooden. But overall, I thought it was quite good. It was a bit of a surprise for me, to be honest.
There you go then, Rich. That's one for your pull list.
Yeah, that's it. I'll have I will check that out for Mr. Deano, and I'll have a look. I like something a bit off.
Sack me off and have a joint review.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, Deano.
Deano take over.
Destroying the set.
Right. So shall we have discussed this bad boy then?
We should.
They're dead. So, Rich, do you want to go first? Well, actually, no. Dino, do you want to go first?
Yeah, let Dino go first.
I don't mind. I was looking forward to this. I wasn't aware of it until probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and I thought, oh, that sounds my kind of thing. It's got that sci-fi element to it, and of course, done by Ewing as well. I thought this is going to be good. Picked it up. I can't say I was disappointed, but I found it a little bit difficult to read in some parts. Like, I felt like it was kind of baffling me with terminology. Like, press the star flare button. And I'm like, what's the star flare button? What does this thing do? Things like that. And I was a bit kind of like, so I struggled with that. But I always do with sci-fi when it goes a little bit too far like that. So I think if people don't like that extreme element of sci-fi, you may struggle like I did with this book a little bit. But overall, it made up for it in the concept and the artwork. This to me was like a really new concept. I don't know what you guys thought about that. Like, story-wise, it seems really fresh.
Yeah. I would 100% agree. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to read this one because obviously I am like a bit of a sci-fi with Star Wars and stuff. So,
are you?
so I was very much looking forward to this. I'd read a lot of like hype. I was interested about it because obviously I'd read a lot of like the early Immortal Hulk stuff. I haven't really kept up to date with that because I missed a bit in the middle. So I like that kind of like sort of shock value that Al Ewing can sometimes bring to a story, and this does have that kind of weird concept, like you say, hacking up the corpses of dead gods and it does go there, doesn't it? So that delivered for me story wise. Yeah, I think I agree with Dino. It was sort of like there was a lot of fast like exposition in this where they covered a lot of ground almost really quickly. And they introduced the sort of the baddie, like the escort woman, which I thought was an inappropriate name to give the to give them. But yeah, so like they've got these escorts that control obviously the mining. But I don't know if any of you guys, and this is me being a geek and watching too much Discovery Channel, but have you guys ever watched like the gold mining shows on Discovery Channel, or like where they go like fishing for Alaskan crab and all that type of stuff?
I've seen that one. I think my dad watched stuff like that.
It had that feeling.
That's far too active for me. No.
So it's a really weird comparison. But I was watching that, and there was this one show that I used to watch, and it used to be in a place called Nome in Alaska. I'm going off kilter here, but anyway. And what they used to do, these people used to just make these skiffs out of all sorts of like shit and scaffolding and stuff, go out with diving tanks and then suck up gold from the base of the sea. And it just had that real like frontier kind of feeling when I was reading this. And I thought, oh, I get it. It's like this band of people in their spaceships going against the big corporate giant ships and getting their piece of the pie. And I just like that concept.
Yeah, I agree. I thought that it was quite a cool concept, to be fair. I like that it almost felt like a sci-fi Tron type thing. Like the artwork's really Tron-like.
Amazing, yeah.
The vibrancy of the colours I thought was really, really good. What I also liked is, like the dialogue panels. I liked how it was like written in the actual artwork rather than have a bubble around some of it. I liked that it was actually written in the artwork.
Yeah.
And I do think, like what you said, Richard and Dino, the story went so fast and they covered so much ground, but it was almost, I found it really comfortable to read. So like Al Ewing's done a really good job, I think, with this book of laying down the foundations of who the main character is, what he's essentially about, what his job is, who his crew are, and who the bad guy is. And you don't normally get that in one single issue. And I think he's done a fantastic job of covering all that in that small amount of time for you to be invested now to like pick up issue 2 to find out what it is they're now going to do and what they're going to do with these bits that they've got off this dead entity, which I think is cool as well. I love the idea that they're just mining this poor dead animal, well, dead god. They're just cutting it to pieces, pop it in the back of the van, off we go. Let's go and see if we can sell it. Do you know what I mean? It's got a bit of a kind of a. I don't want to say. I can't say that.
Is that
I will say, like, when I say, like, when we're saying there about it being a bit convoluted and stuff, and they cover out so much stuff.
Yeah.
That's no way Al Ewing's fault. That's my fault for not being smarter. That's what I'll say on the issue.
But yeah, I just thought it was. I really thought it was cool, and I think it's like how it's like it just had that real like epic scope, and the artwork brought that across. Like it said, how it introduced the gods, and it sort of said, the gods are always like massive, and they're also beautiful. And it's like you then see this like obviously very attractive looking kind of female goddess, and then all of a sudden they're like hacking away at a right cheek, and it's just
it's weird, isn't it? But it's a cool process.
It does get bizarre, especially when they're kind of putting it into that cargo bay, and it's almost like it's like packaging ham.
Yeah. So bizarre. And I liked the bit where it kind of covers the idea that there's so many people trying to do it that they're now fighting with each other over who owns what part of the body, which I thought was a really cool concept as well. Like just another, again, exactly what Comic Gaming has said, another great quality book from Boom.
Most definitely so. I agree. It was a great first issue, at least.
I mean, 100%.
I don't think you can tell just from this where it's going.
No.
There is a bit of a kind of like a bit of a U-turn towards the end of it. But I don't know. It was hard for me to gauge from issue 1 what the kind of feel was going to be of this book. Like, is it going to be something dark, or you just don't know? I get from issue 1. I think this again could go anywhere, really. I think.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it could go either down a dark route, and we could end up with all sorts of things that Rich would enjoy, or it could go down the route of being nice and fluffy like I would enjoy.
Yeah, fighting Megazords and stuff like that.
Yeah, basically Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see that they've got a choice there. I think from where this went, it could go either way. You could get some kind of like dark space opera epic story, or like you said, you could get a more kind of a poppy kind of Power Rangers kind of vibe from this.
Yeah. I think that was the thing. I think it was when they first started off, I was like thinking, is this going to be like a sort of a Power Rangers-y type of like pitched at that level? And then when they started doing the sort of the whole dissection piece of this god, I was a bit like, it's got the edge that I wanted. That's what I kind of like was looking for to like get my interest, because if it didn't go there, I would have been a bit like let down. I would have been like, it's going to be just a bit predictable. But like you said, I can't chart exactly what's going to happen and where they're going to go. So I was really, really impressed.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good first. I'll definitely be continuing with it anyway, just to see what that vibe is, because I think on the scale here, the not quite mint scale, I think I lean more towards Rich here. I quite like that dark and edgy. I like that dark and stuff as well. So I think if it does go that way, I'll definitely continue reading. I think if it does shift to kind of like a lighter kind of gods fighting with swords and morphing, and I think I'm probably going to be out at that point in it.
That's it. You can leave. Let's see.
I'm only getting my revenge against what you said against Superman when you was on my channel.
Yeah.
But I do like the fact that like people are coming in and pulling Tom over to the dark side. I kind of get that. I enjoy that kind of feeling,
In all fairness,
join us.
I got recommended Once and Future, and it's not exactly a fluffy book to read. So, and I love it. I think Monster and Future is a really, really well written book.
Yeah, again, Boom Studios, isn't it? So while we're on a theme here, is the Boom Studios seems to be that perfect medium for you to be on. I think.
I love Boom Studios. You can pick up Teenage Mutant Ninja Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and then you can read some in dark afterwards if you want to.
Yeah, so perfect.
I think they're definitely a one to watch. I think Boom Studios.
Yeah.
They have got some really key titles at the moment, and I think if they keep going the way that they're going, especially as they've got that exclusivity deal now with Netflix as well, haven't they? I think that you could see them have a real impact, I think, on the industry over the next year or two.
They've got Donny Cates's crossover. Are they doing that one?
I have no idea.
They're doing a thing called crossover, I believe, but they're also, I think, towards the end of the month, they're bringing out there's an issue coming out that's being written by Donny Cates's wife called Department of Truth. Yes. We will be talking more about that as we go through like key issues.
I've just realised we're not on my channel, so we can say Donny Cates gone.
Money.
Go wild, Dino. Go on, get it out. Get it out
as much as you want.
Anybody who hasn't watched Dino's channel, do obviously come in on a Sunday night. It's about 8 o'clock, is it?
Yeah.
You do your show, Dino, and just come on and then try and get Dino to say Donny Cates, because he makes me cry, doesn't it? If anybody's watched that,
Rich is allergic. Rich goes upset. He starts crying. He starts sneezing if we talk about Donny Cates too much.
I'm all right today. It's obviously just the time of the year thing or something. Yeah. So.
And just to explain to people, that's not because I have any dislike for him. It's just that it seems like every Sunday we end up talking about Donny Cates in some form or capacity. So, if you say Donny Cates on my channel now, you have to put a pound in a jar. That's how it works.
Yeah. So we've all got to change our names now to Donny Cates again.
Who's here? Oh, it's Donny Cates. I mean, there's no Donny Cates this week that we're actually reviewing, so that's
no.
We dodged a bullet there, mate. But we are. But as I say, it's hard to dodge Donny Cates at times, isn't it? So.
Oh yeah.
That's it. But do we want to talk a bit about Batman as well?
Should we go back to our 4th pick and talk about Batman? Because I know Dino's read it.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. What's Batman?
Batman.
Who? No, I will say, I've heard a lot of people talking about this particular issue and saying that it's a bit of a lull. And it wasn't as exciting, and it just seemed like it was missing a lot of action. I have to be honest, this has been kind of one of my favorites so far. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I've really enjoyed that kind of downtime and the reconnecting with Alfred. Even though it's kind of like not real, I've really enjoyed all of that. I know it is missing the action that we're used to over those last few issues, but this was a welcome respite from it all, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would.
Me and Tom had a little chat about this issue, and you I wasn't like saying it was crap or anything like that, but obviously because I'm loving this run at the moment, but I was like, I felt it was I've been really enjoying the action, and if you haven't got through to me that I like people fighting, explosions, gore, horror, shock on every page, hence why I probably quite like some of the Donny Cates stuff at the moment. But do you know what I mean? I kind of like that, and I was the whole bit with Alfred. Like, you love the Alfred thing, don't you, Tom? You really do.
I thought it was really, really good. And like Dino said, I liked the reconnecting of him and Alfred. And the bit where he smacks him, I just was like, that's excellent.
That was the best bit.
It seemed as well like when Batman was having all of these kind of hallucinations and visions, like, it doesn't matter where he turned or who he looked at. It's just like everyone had a snap neck as well in this.
Yeah, that was cool. That was. Well, that was what I felt like with this. Because there's so much taken up with that bit where, it was like Bruce was with Alfred, and I was like, we've read obviously the Batman Comics Annual 3, which was like that whole backstory of Alfred, and I just feel like they're really, and I know it's a massive issue, and I know it's a big thing and everything, and it's, you know, Alfred will always be a part of Batman, but I just feel almost at the moment it's like, that's the point, isn't it? Is that, you know, Bruce needs to get over the fact of what's happened to Alfred and man up, really. And I don't know whether it detracts from that whole, like, the Dark Knight thing a little bit, and it just irks me a bit that they're really flogging that whole Alfred angle at the moment a little bit too much. But, you know, yeah, the punchline Harley Quinn fight was all right.
Yeah, there was just no clear winner.
There's just nothing to it,
you know, you just, I'm at that point where I'm like, come on, who's the best? You know, give us a winner, you know.
Yeah, well, I did love that. What did you think about that? The splash with the Batman, like,
that was so cool.
That I was like, oh my god, I want that on my wall. I thought that was ace.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with this issue. I mean, I can understand why people think it's a bit of a filler and it's not the best, but I like Dino said, I like the reconnection between him and Alfred, but also I like the idea of the fact that this is it now. Like, it's all in his head, and he just needs to, like you said, Rich, just man up, get on with it. You're the Batman at the end of the day. You can't be a mamby-pamby about things. You've just got to get on with it. And it is tragic what's happened, and it's horrible, but because of who you represent and what you are, you kind of just need to go out there and kick some Joker butt. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it kind of like shows that thing, because, like, you know, if you read a lot of, say, like, the detective comics and stuff, and I've been reading more of the recent stuff over that, the GP Venom, thank God, dragging it out, but like, you get the feeling, like, when you read a lot of Batman stuff, when there's like a team element, you get that sense of, like, that he's got a lot of support around him, but never listens to anybody, and he's always got his own plan. He always comes up with something else. He always solves what's going on all by himself. But, like, and then, like, with this, it just shows that he does actually need some level of support around him. And I think because of what happened to Lucius Fox in the previous issues with the Joker toxin and stuff, obviously he's so vulnerable at the moment. And I think that they are doing a good job of showing that, you know, that really easy, you know, he's rock bottom, and I'm not sure quite how they're going to get out of, you know, he's going to get out of what he's in.
I think if you read Detective alongside this as well, you get. I agree with what you're saying about, you know, that support and how he does his own thing and stuff. But I think if the issues of Detective in between all of the Bat books have really shown, like, just recently you've had Batwoman turn up again, who, you know, he hasn't worked with Batwoman since kind of, like, I think issue 800 and something. You know, so you kind of see this reconnecting, and he calls in the support and stuff. So I think you get, but I think that's the way with the Bat books. You get much more of a kind of look inside the Bat family with Detective than you do with Batman. I think Batman is aimed at, if you like the solo Batman, the dark, moody, going fighting, the main Bat book is, that's what that's for. The Detective book, I think, is much more about the kind of the wider elements of that world that he's in. And the whole reconnecting thing with Alfred, again, I think a mix of what you're both saying is, the beautiful thing of that was, it wasn't really Alfred. What he's doing is he's connecting with himself. You know, he's connecting with that kind of, that darkness within him, to try and kind of do the right thing, which I thought that was clever. If you look at it in that context, that was really clever as well.
It's, that's what I say, not knocking it at all. It is literally, but it is, I think it's like so well written in a sense, and I think I'm looking forward to when this whole Joker War thing and the Tinian run comes to an end, which probably won't be for ages, but it'll be interesting being able to read them in a more condensed sort of fashion, and it probably won't feel as drawn out then. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're right there, mate. Because my only criticism of this whole Joker War thing is we haven't actually seen that much of the Joker in it. So I'm hoping he's going to make a bit more of an appearance in this next two issues. But, I mean, he's done a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff, which is incredible. And he's really brought Batman to his knees and the whole of Gotham to his knees. But you just haven't seen much of him and what his end plan and stuff is. So I like the idea of where it's going to go.
I think they're probably saving that for the crescendo, aren't they? They're kind of keeping the Joker out the way, because I suppose writing-wise, it kind of makes him seem that he's far removed from Batman. Like, Batman has a long way to go to get to him. You know what I mean? Like, And I think that's on purpose with the writing. I think they're saving that for when it does come together.
Yeah, which is going to be quite interesting, really, because this was issue 98. I think Joker War finishes issue 100. I think, is that right?
Yeah.
So with a lot. I can't see all of the problems being resolved in 2 issues. Do you know what I mean? And I think, is it issue 100 we get another.
It's I think it's issue.
Is it Ghost Hunter?
Ghost Hunter, yeah, something like that.
So
are they not going to do? They're not going to do like an aftermath kind of spin-off or anything like that.
Not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure. As I say, I think it's there is a Joker War. There is. I think I have seen a Joker War kind of. There is a Joker. I'm pretty sure there is actually going to be a Joker War one-shot at the end.
Warzone. You are right.
Warzone, that's it. Yeah.
Because they usually do with these things, don't they? They usually do a kind of aftermath issue or like a little mini run.
But
I will say as well, one thing I was what I really enjoyed about this, or what I'm looking forward to now going forward, is that Catwoman's back on the table. I feel like since she was taken out of it, like, it's been really unknown of kind of where she fits in with this, seeing as, without going into spoilers, the role she plays in all of this.
Yeah,
I think, I really want to see what the consequence of that is.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to
I'd
that.
like to see what's going to happen with her.
Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? I think prior to this run, I think everything had been built up, and everybody had sort of pulled together, and then really everything's been pulled to the ground, hasn't it? So it's sort of like hit a big reset almost, I feel.
Yeah.
So it's going to be definitely going to be interesting to see how that all turns out. Definitely.
Well, that's it then. That's all of the reviews.
That's it. So before we sign everybody off, Dino, do you want to sort of just do a little bit about your channel and just say what you've got coming up for anybody who might not know?
Yeah, my channel. Don't watch it. It's rubbish. It's full of weirdos. You're not going to enjoy it.
Hey, hold on, I've appeared on this channel.
Exactly. No, we do we do comic talk, and every Sunday we have a live where we get the community in to kind of hang out and talk about what they're picking up. We usually have a topic that we talk about as well, something interesting that's gone on in the world of comics that week. And once a month we do a thing called Bargain Bin Battles, where you'll see a bunch of comic book nerds try and spend £10 most effective as they can, and we let people vote on who they think got the best value for money. So yeah, with lots of stuff happening over there with lots of weirdos. So yeah, come check it out. If you like weirdos, come check it out.
Yeah, Bargain Bin Battles is worth the watch, in all fairness.
It is fun, actually, yeah. I always forget to vote, though. I always watch it, and then I'm like, oh shit, I didn't vote. Because
your vote counts, man. Your vote is what drives this.
Who won last week? Did Luke win last week? Was it Luke?
Luke won episode 3, and then we showed the new books for episode 4, so we'll announce the winner from that in episode 5, which will be, I think, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday.
Awesome.
Happy days, mate.
Love it. But yeah, so thanks for that, Dino. Obviously, you're always going to be welcome, but we'll swap around our special guests as much as we can week to week as well. But we will definitely have you back.
I think we'll end up being a regular, to be fair.
Yeah, Dino can just come in and go.
Anytime you invite me, I'll turn up.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I'm all done. I'm happy. I'm excited for next week when we've obviously got Tuesday. We're back with our Keys stream at 6:00 again. I don't think we've got a video lined up for over the weekend, have we, Tom?
No, not this weekend. Lacking.
Yeah, that's it. We normally got an unboxing or something, but absolutely naffle to talk about. Nothing's come through. So, yeah, exactly. Just check out some of the other ones anyway. That would be cool. So that's it from me, really. So all I've got to say is obviously do take care of yourselves, and yeah, and obviously subscribe and like and all that type of stuff.
Can I just say as well, I would second that as well. If you're not subscribed to these guys, do so. They're like two of the nicest guys on YouTube, in my opinion.
Oh, Dino can definitely come back. I'm going to reiterate what Dino said, not what Rich said. We are two of the nicest guys. And on that night, guys, I'm going to say take care, look after each other, stay safe, read loads of comics, and see ya.